Greetings, fellow YouTuber. My name is Tim. Greetings, fellow YouTuber. My name is Tim. Welcome once again to everybody's favorite Friday night dumpster fire. We try to call entertainment. This is GainerWorld Live. My name is Tim Gainer. Thank you so much for joining me. I certainly do appreciate it, as I do every single Friday night when I'm with you. Isn't it rude when people just stick their fingers in your face like that and just get a ball in there? Anyway, if you're new to this little thing, we don't even know to this day what this thing is supposed to be, but if you're new to this, basically if you're looking for entertainment and you're looking for comedy and you're looking for good times, yeah, forget it, because mainly what we do, no, really, in all sincerity, what we do is we started this a couple of years ago, and mainly we just kind of drop our hair down and say hi to each other and just talk about stuff that's going on in the world. And we do it via way of this chat right there. You see that? You see that? You see that right there? It's right there. Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's the chat. Now, if you're watching this live, you're used to having to strain all the way over here so you can see the chat. No. We care about you. There he goes with the finger again. You. We care about you. So we put the chat right there. It's right there. You can see it. It's right there. And you can follow along with us. You can join in with us, as a matter of fact. Feel free. Drop us a line in the chat. Tell us where you're from. We'd love to hear from new folks and old folks alike. We don't discriminate. Young, old, we don't care. Yeah, I mean, look at me, for God's sake. So anyway, there's a lot to talk about. That's in the news this week, and I don't know. I guess we should really just get to it right away. So let's not waste any time, because we all know what time it is. Anytime that we do the beginning of this here little slop heap that we try to call an internet show. You know what time it is. Yeah, it's time for the Deadpool report. Let's get into it, shall we? It was a busy week, Deadpool aficionados. Just a lot of people leaving us this week for whatever reason. You don't know this face, but then again, you do. Dick Curtis, very well known comedian, character actor. We just found out on Wednesday that he passed away on September 16th in L.A. of heart failure at the age of 95. He was in the VA hospital in Westwood, apparently. This is according to Deadline. And his death was confirmed by his longtime friend and TV writer, Paul Jackson. He had quite a career, quite honestly. He did nightclubs, TV, movies, commercials. He produced for PM Magazine for a little while. Had a couple of record albums cut. He was one of the. Oh, thank you very much. I appreciate that. He was one of the people. He was the straight man to Jonathan Winters. You might remember him from that. When Jonathan Winters had his CBS series. I think that was in the late 60s, early 70s. He was in a lot of the original TV shows, like the Andy Griffith Show. He was in Batman, That Girl. But his most famous role, without question, was the appearance that he had on the old Dick Van Dyke Show when he was the host of a show called Coast to Coast Big Mouth, and he played the host, Johnny Patrick. And this is the episode. If you're a Dick Van Dyke fan, you'll understand this. If not, just get on YouTube and look for it. But this is the one where he coerced, shall we say, Laura Petrie, seen here, played by the perky Mary Tyler Moore. He got Laura Petrie to admit that Alan Brady wore a toupee. And this episode of this show is so famous that actually it is now in the Smithsonian Museum. That is how good that show is. He was in a couple of movies. He was with James Garner in Support Your Local Gunfighter. And the last thing that he ever did was he made an appearance in the cult horror classic Motel Hell. Remember that one? Yeah, he was in that one. So yeah, one of the more hardworking people of the 60s and 70s, Dick Curtis, is gone at the age of 95. So yeah, just celebrate by going back and watching Dick Van Dyke. That's what I recommend. That was on Wednesday. Yesterday, we come to find out that Rudolph Isley, one of the founding members of the Isley Brothers, has passed away at the age of 84. Allegedly, according to the Mirror, the UK Mirror, it said that he died here in Illinois on Wednesday. The cause of death is not yet confirmed, but TMZ is reporting one source that says they think that he suffered a heart attack. Now, if you don't know anything about the Isley Brothers, where have you been musically? Where have you been? One of the biggest songs possibly, even if you're in a nightclub and somebody doesn't play Shout at least once, yeah, get out of there because it's not worth it. They had another one, Twist and Shout. They had a great number of hits. This Old Heart of Mine. Later on in the 70s, oh my God. You want to talk about being soulful and rock and being funky at the same time. The Isley Brothers were it. It's your thing. Who's that lady? Pop that thing. Yeah. Bang, bang, bang. He was just thrust to the front of the band. He took on the load of a number of the tunes. But in 1989, allegedly, pardon me, he left the group to become a Christian minister. But he got back with the band on a number of occasions. And, of course, in 1992, they were inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. And they've been sampled to death. A number of popular. They were sampled. Isley Brothers was sampled on Ice Cube's "It Was a Good Day." Of course, Big Papa by Notorious B.I.G. So yeah, another one sadly gone from the world of rock and roll and other things. Rudolph Isley gone at the age of 84, and if that wasn't enough, we found out today that Phyllis Coates, you may not know that name, but you know that face if you love old TV. Oh yes, she was the first actress to play Lois Lane on television. The original Adventures of Superman. She only did it for one season, but that's all she needed. She was 96. She passed away just last night. She was also, speaking of, and being as though we are in the we are in that time of year. Phyllis also was in movies such as the classic I Was a Teenage Frankenstein. That's right. She passed away, allegedly, we found out last night, but she passed away Wednesday of natural causes at the Motion Picture and Television Country House in hospital in Woodland Hills, according to her daughter, Laura. She had signed on originally. She got into the series by being in a movie. And the movie, strangely enough, was Superman and the Mole Men, that 1951 classic that we all remember. And that's how she got into the role of Lois Lane. She got paid $350 for each episode, a whopping fee back there in the 50s. And she said 4 or 5 shows were often shot at one time. So that's why she always wore the same hat. She always wore the same suit, which is true. I mean, if you look at these, you notice that Lois really didn't have a whole lot of difference as far as her wardrobe went. But she was a reporter. She was on a reporter's salary, but it's okay. She said in her book, her 2006 book, Science Fiction Stars and Horrors, or Tom Weaver's book, rather, we were nearly blown up, beaten up, exploded, exploited, because we were young and dumb and we put on a lot of stuff. Not too long ago, I saw an episode of Night of Terror. Remember that one? Yeah, she was in that too. Yep. And I got knocked out. But the show was a hit. So anyway, she ended up doing a whole bunch of movies after that. Jungle Drums of Africa. She did Panther Girl of the Congo. Remember that one? Oh yeah. Girls in Prison. That was a family favorite. This is Alice in 1958. Of course, it was the big one. I Was a Teenage Frankenstein back there in 57. You gotta love it. She was the secretary of a mad scientist, played by Whit Bissell, and she confronts him about making a monster. And the creature, played by Gary Conway, kills her and feeds her remains to an alligator. Yeah, they just don't make them like that anymore. She was on a ton of TV shows, too. Lone Ranger, Leave It to Beaver, Tales of Wells Fargo, Rawhide, The Untouchables, Perry Mason, Patty Duke Show, Gunsmoke. The last thing that she did was a movie. She played Marilyn Monroe's mentally ill mother Gladys Baker in 1987's Goodnight Sweet Marilyn. And, no, I take that back. She actually did one more after that in a 1994 episode of, remember the TV show Lois and Clark? The New Adventures of Superman? Yeah. She actually played, because Terry Hatcher played Lois, she played Lois's mother. You gotta love that. You gotta love that. It's incredible. One of the pioneers, gone. Phyllis Coates, Lois Lane, gone at the age of 95. That will be in 96, rather. I beg your pardon. There'll never be another one like her. And that's all we needed. That's the Deadpool report, y'all. Let's get out of here. Let's check the tote board here. See what we've got going. A lot happened while I was reading that dribble. Noreen Henry's in. Noreen, always good to see you. Hello, little sister Judy from wherever she is these days. She's here as well. Amu City's here. Always appreciate that. Let's see here. Amu City saying meats, and meat, and a man's got to eat. Yep, I believe that. Noreen says I loved Motel Hell. I remember seeing it. I think I saw that all twice. I don't really remember the premise. I just remember that it was really stupid and it was really spooky, and I really loved it. Amy City saying, I still want to know what the point is of burying the people up to their necks before killing them and turning them into jerky. Oh, yeah. Okay, now I remember. Well, it's kind of like roast beef. You got to slice it while it's right there. It's got to be the freshest, and that's how you do that. Don't forget that marvelous piece of cinema from 1956, Girls in Prison. Yep. One of the great sexploitation films of the 50s, if you can call it that. Little sister wants to know, how's Madonna doing? Is she dead yet? And Mike Stem has popped in. Mike, how you doing? Always good to see you, my friend. Always appreciate you popping in at a time like this. There's no accounting for taste. But anyway, little sister is asking, how's Madonna doing? Is she dead yet? Well, I'm so glad you asked that question. Because you see, there is the update, and the update is official. Yes, the Celebration Tour is ready to go. It is ready to kick off. It's going to be kicking off tonight, or I beg your pardon, tomorrow night, or tonight, depending upon where you are. If you're in the UK, it's going to be kicking off tonight. She's kicking off 4 shows, 4 consecutive out of 6 that she's going to be playing at the O2 in London. She's playing, for our UK fans, she's playing the O2 tonight, tomorrow night, and Monday and Tuesday. So she's got that going. But if you've got tickets, here's something that you do need to know. And I find this a little weird, even by Madonna's statement, or Madonna speak. It is set to feature 40 songs. However, there's not going to be a band. Let me repeat this because it's slightly important that we all understand what's going on in the world of Madge. There's going to be over 40 songs in her show, but there's not going to be a band. This is according to Rolling Stone, that her musical director, Stuart Price, talked to the BBC about what fans can expect. And he said that it's going to be a documentary through her vast career, and it'll show off more than 40 songs from the star's storied and celebrated back catalog. According to Price, he says, a greatest hit doesn't have to be a song. It can be a wardrobe. It can be a video or a statement. Yeah, okay. Even Little Sister is saying, lip syncing? Yeah, no, I'm thinking more along the lines of karaoke. She's not going to be joined by a live band. Instead, she's relying on the original multi-track recordings. Have you seen Paul Stanley live, Madge? I'm just saying. There are live musicians, according to Price. They perform at different parts of the show. But what we realized is that the original recordings are the stars. Those things can't be replicated and can't be recreated. Yes, they can. Don't hand me that crap. We decided just to embrace that. With Madonna, everything's about recontextualizing stuff, finding ways to take strong original messages and see how they resonate in the era that we're in now. A lot of the powerful moments in this show are to do with where the music intersects with something that society was going through, especially something emotional like the AIDS crisis. He also confirmed that, yes, Madge is back down to her fighting weight. She's looking really good after, of course, she was hospitalized. And the person that's going to take the stage looks incredible, says Price. Sounds incredible and performs incredible. So there you have it. There you have it. That's what you're going to be expecting at the O2 tonight. She's kicking it off. She's going to be there for 4 nights. She's also coming back for 2 more nights at the O2 in December 5th and 6th. And she's going to be going through Europe before she kicks off the American tour. She's going to be at the Barclays Center in Brooklyn. She's got a bunch of sellouts. From one sellout to another. She's going to be at the Capital One Arena in Washington. I know for a fact that she's going to be also... she's going to be in Madison Square Garden in January. She's got 2 shows in Madison Square Garden, as well as 2 shows here in Chicago at the United Center. And she's going to be on the road quite a bit. touring around the country before she wraps things up at the Moody Center in Austin, Texas in April? Did I read that right? Yes, April 15th. So she is on the road from now until April. Man, that's road tough. That's road tough, especially when you put on a show as multifaceted as Madonna. I mean, you can love her, you can hate her, you can say whatever you want about her, but she's a workhorse. She really is. She's a workhorse. You got to have. Chicago Boy 61 popping in. Always good to see you, my friend. Thank you for popping in. Says, is she singing to tracks? It's cheap production. Yeah, there is that. You wonder how many dancers are going to be up there with her. You know, and let's face it, it's pop productions are getting expensive, dude. You know, and they're getting crowded too, as far as I'm concerned. Little sister saying she might not be dead. Her career is definitely dying. Hello. Amu City also saying on Red stage show production has over 600 intelligent light setups, 8,800 lighting cues, and 24 onstage performers. See, that's a full-blown Broadway show, man. It's, you know, give me my kids and a couple of people on the drums. I'm good. 4 or 5 people, we're good. She's got to bring this entourage of like 50, 60 people. I mean, she's no Taylor Swift these days, but yeah, I said it. I went there. Even Mike's saying it's like your aunt answering the door in a bathing suit. Yeah, I think you're talking about this one, Mike. Yeah. Imagine delivering pizza to that. Okay? Better a bathing suit than a birthday suit. Oh man. You know, I hear that and I think the old Cheech and Chong thing. Hey lady, did you order the pepperoni pizza? Well, here's the pizza. And here's the pepperoni. One of the things that happened this week that we should touch upon as well, whether we like it or not, is unfortunately the SAG-AFTRA strike is still going on. Was hopes of an imminent solution, but talks broke down during the week. Apparently the problem here is a sharp disagreement of how performers should be compensated from streaming. Just like musicians get royalties or you get you get residuals from shows that you've been in. Now, apparently they're talking about residuals for streaming. And apparently the actors are not budging on this one. Not that I think they should. But I think really just the producers or the AMPTP should just break down and just pay them. You know? I mean, how much money should the studios get? I'm asking you. You know? They viewed last week's restart of negotiations with high expectations, according to the LA Times. But a Wednesday disagreement once again heightened fears that the labor dispute could stretch on for weeks, if not through year's end. Yeah, and this is why you're not seeing a lot of new production. Not that the writer's strike had anything to do with it. They hit the Alliance of Motion Picture and Television Producers, or the AMPTP. They hit the pause button on Wednesday night. They said the sides are way too divided still. After meaningful conversation, it is clear that the gap between the AMPTP and SAG-AFTRA is too great, and conversations are no longer moving us in a productive direction. So, yeah, SAG-AFTRA, Wednesday, they submitted a package of counter proposals But that's the big thing. Right now, they're talking about streaming. They're talking about they want their cut of it. The issue is streaming pay, according to the LA Times, a focus of both the writers and the actors' strike. That's what threw a wrench in the works. So, yeah, I got a feeling that one is going to be a little while. We're not going to see the end of that for a bit, because I got a feeling that the producers union is they're not going to budge. They like their money. You know, they're like the recording conspiracy. Do you think they're going to give the musicians more money? Not a chance. Not a chance. But there is good news. Speaking of money and speaking of music, Little Sister saying actors also want control of AI use. I haven't heard a lot about that. I know that that's a very big fear among a lot of the actors on what restrictions, what uses, what the limitations are of AI. It's a very, very it's a real sensitive topic. I know that to be true. Mike Stem saying hugs Hollywood? No, babe. No, just Gainer. It's all good. But we'll talk music. We'll definitely talk music. In fact, you ready for this? You know, Madonna is on tour, and Taylor Swift is on tour. And yes, there are, residencies in Las Vegas, people like, Katy Perry and U2 and all them. But I ask you, fellow YouTuber, are you ready? Because they're back on the road. They're back together and they're back on the road. Are you ready for the return of Tommy James and the Shondells? Yes, it's true. Tommy James and the Shondells, believe it or not. Yes. Can you stand it? I know I can. Yes, it's true. It is true. Tommy James and the Shondells are going to be back on the road through March of next year. And of course, I mean, everybody knows the hits. I mean, good Lord. If you aren't in a bar that isn't playing Moni Moni and you aren't singing the special lyric along with it, then yeah, you've got issues, okay? And the string of hits at the same time. Okay, Sweet Cherry Wine, Moni Moni, I Think We're Alone Now, Dragging the Line, Ball of Fire, Sweet Cherry Wine. I mean, I could go on and on for the rest of the year. But they're going to be playing all over North America. They're kicking things off. They kick things off actually tomorrow night at the Scottish Rite Auditorium in Collingswood, New Jersey. We all know where that is. They're coming back here around Chicago way. 21st, they're going to be at the Arcada Theater in St. Charles. Also November 11th, they're at the Genesee Theater in Waukegan. They've got a short stint on October the 27th at the showroom at the Golden Nugget in Las Vegas. And they're apparently wrapping things up on March 30th of next year at the Honeywell Center in Wabash, Indiana. And we do have, believe it or not, we got the set list, y'all. Yep. We got the set list. Dragging the Line, they are playing the hits. They are totally playing the hits this time. Dragging the Line, Crystal Blue Persuasion, Getting Together, I Think We're Alone Now, Ball of Fire, Crimson and Clover, he said tongue-tied. Hanky Panky, of course they're doing, I Think We're Alone Now, Sweet Cherry Wine, Mirage, and of course ending with everybody singing that special line from Mony Mony. If you don't know what I'm talking about, you've never been in either a college bar or any bar at all for that matter when this song came on. So yeah. So check it out. Tommy James and the Shondells back together. You gotta love that. I mean, how old is he now? I will say this. Okay, this is gonna age me too. I think it was 1972, 73. It was right after he had released his second solo album. And a couple of friends of mine had they had a nightclub. It was called the White Elephant. It was in Evergreen Park, Illinois. And they got Tommy James to play. And I'm here to tell you, okay, first off, you have to understand, Tommy James is about 6'4", 6'5". He's a big boy. He's tall. They raise him big in Canada, don't you know? Yeah, sure. And he's rocking and he's having a great time. And at one point, he's walking across the tables playing. Here's this giant of a man walking across the tables in this nightclub playing, I don't know what was. I can't even remember what it was. It wasn't Mony Mony or anything like that. I think it was Getting Together or something like that. But he did an amazing show. And if this show's anything like it, you should go see him. If you're a fan of him, you should really go see him. Checking the tote board. Let's see here. Is it wrong that I live the covers of these two tracks more than that I like the covers of these two tracks more than the originals? No, not necessarily. Not necessarily. I mean, I personally go for the originals. Other people, I understand why they love the Billy Idol cover of Mony Mony. I get it. And even he said, I Think We're Alone Now by Tiffany. Yeah, sure. I mean, that's the soundtrack of your life, man. There ain't nothing wrong with that. Noreen said, I'd go to see him. Yeah, I would go to see him too. He's a lot of fun. He's a lot of fun in concert. I don't know if he is these days. I mean, my God, he's got to be about 75. I mean, he's looking pretty good in the video, but Dragging the Line, the original is superior to the REM version. Yeah, I will say that much. Dragging the Line is one of my favorite songs from him. For all the stuff that he did with Shondells, I really love Dragging the Line. Amazing how Mike says, amazing how many of their tunes were remade. Pretty much their entire catalog. Their entire hits. If you grab the Something Special album, almost every single one of the originals has been covered. MU City said, wait. You mentioned all those tracks, but you didn't mention Crimson and Clover or Crystal Blue Persuasion. I know. Crimson and Clover, Joan Jett, another cover. I don't think anybody ever covered Crystal Blue Persuasion. Maybe that's an idea. And Chicago Boy 61 is saying he's got a weekly show on Sirius XM. Oh, I did not know that. I was surprised at how good his speaking voice is considering his age. It's probably going to be a good show. I'm thinking it's going to be. Like I said, I saw him in 73 at the White Elephant in Evergreen Park, Illinois. He put on a hell of a show then. So it's kind of hard to say. But I'd go see him. I really would. I'd go see him. Speaking of older people that are on the road or shouldn't be on the road or is on the road or whatever the case may be, we've got get well wishes going out to someone who we've talked about on the show a couple of times, and that's Leo Sayer. He has revealed, according to the London Daily Mirror, it says here, he said tongue-tied, that he has been hospitalized in Australia. He fell very ill. This is a quote, very ill, end quote, after he was due to travel to the UK. He took to Facebook. He's 75. He is 75. Look at this man. Leo Sayer is 75. This guy is 75. How does this happen? But he took to Facebook earlier this week to share the update. He was forced to cancel a flight to Britain for an upcoming tour and revealed that he has been in the hospital for the last 3 weeks. This is from the Mirror. Quote, I haven't posted anything publicly before this, but I couldn't fly or make the recent shows in the UK because I became very ill just before the trip. I have been in the hospital here for the last 3 weeks in Australia with kidney, bladder, and prostate complications. Wow. Okay, Leo. If you're going to go big, bro. He went on to apologize to the people that he's inconvenienced by the change of plans. He was expected to perform later this month. He'd been scheduled to perform in Butlins this weekend, but the gig obviously is postponed now. He said, I'm going to take a necessary short break from the activities and be back fighting for shows in 2024. It says here. Particularly my UK and Ireland tour next autumn. Apparently he's had a history of health issues. He had undergone surgery to remove a tumor and intestinal ulcers at the age of 65. And apparently one of them was cancerous. So yeah, that's never good. So anyway, best wishes to Leo. Leo, my man. What the heck? Let's get you back on the road real soon, dude. You can't be playing those games. That's for sure. We've also got an update from Amu City, who's telling me that Concrete Blonde covered Crystal Blue Persuasion. I got to check that out. That'd be a lot of fun. I always did like Concrete Blonde, too. I'll bet you that's a lot of fun. There's also this from the people that are older than they should be and are suddenly on the mend. If you were around during the 80s, particularly in 1984, you will remember the legendary season for the 84 Summer Olympics. And in particular, you will remember one particular athlete. And of course, we're talking about all-around gymnastics gold medal winner Mary Lou Retton. Now, say what you want, but there's a lot to be said for people who win the Olympics. And I mean, if you stop and think about it, I mean, come on. She was, she was on a Wheaties box, okay? That's got to say something. That's got to say something. But apparently now there's a little bit of a problem because, according to our friends at NBC, it turns out that dear Mary Lou is, quote, fighting for her life in intensive care. She is battling pneumonia and cannot afford her hospital bills. This is according to her daughter, McKenna Kelly, The Independent, and KNBC, NBC4 in LA, man. Your source for news. She's been in the ICU for over a week due to a very rare form of pneumonia. And her daughter McKenna has set up a I guess kind of a GoFundMe. It's called a Spot Fund account. Right now she's unable to breathe on her own. That's not good. Out of respect for her privacy, Kelly said, I won't disclose all the details. I will disclose that she's not insured. We ask that you can help in any way that you can, that you, one, pray, and two, could you help us with finances for the hospital bill? Anything, absolutely anything would be so helpful for my mom and my family. Thank you so very much. You know, I don't care what you tell me. If you win the gold medal for the Olympics for your country, you deserve a little help in return. So, yeah. She was 16 when she won the Olympics in LA. So if you want to, you can go to Spot Fund and look for the Mary Lou Retton GoFundMe and help her out. Help her out. And good wishes, best wishes to Mary Lou if she ever sees this show. You served your country, so to speak. So anyway, I think we're at that point of the show where we get to ask a fundamental question. I'm sure, you know, and I know that everybody that has watched the show, everybody that's watching this show right now, remembers the night
Will
that
Smith just smacked the shit out of me.
Really, does anybody care about Jada Pinkett Smith anymore? No, they do not. But she's got a book out. So she's on the interview trail. And apparently this picture that you see, that you're looking at, allegedly, of Will and Jada at the Oscars, and Will standing up for his lady fair and telling Chris Rock to keep his wife's name out of his effing mouth, or as we refer to it
That
as,
was the greatest night in the history of television.
that was a lie. It was a complete lie. There is an interview that she did the other day on the Today Show. And Jada just lays it out straight.
From the year 2016, which is 7 years ago now.
Yes.
Y'all have been...
I made a promise that there will never be a reason for us to get a divorce. We will work through whatever. And I just haven't been able to break that promise.
But you still live separately.
We live separately.
They have allegedly been separated since 2016, according to Jada Pinkett Smith. She said they're living completely separate lives. She had considered a legal divorce, but she hasn't been able to bring herself to it, as she said right there. When she was asked what precipitated the quote, fracture in their relationship, Jada said it was, quote, a lot of things. Gee, Jada, do you think banging your son's friend had anything to do with it? She said, quote, this is according to the Daily Beast, by the time we got to 2016, we were just exhausted with trying. I think we were both kind of still stuck in our fantasy of what the other person should be. In public, the company once denied there were any issues in their relationship. Jada even joked with Andy Cohen in a 2017 episode of his show, Watch What Happens Live, about how she and Will keep it hot. And she said, laughing, "I'm baffled, really." And there's also talk that, get ready for this. There was talk that apparently Chris Rock asked her out because he had heard the rumor that they had broken up. Apparently, you might remember the 2020 episode of Red Table Talk. They discussed how they had entered into another relationship or entanglement. Remember that one? Yes, the entanglement. Yeah, let's call it what it is, Jada. Yeah, you were banging your son's friend, okay? She said in the show that she and Will had broke up, but it wasn't clear until now that they'd never reconciled at all. But again, I have to look back and I have to say, she's selling a book. And she is Jada Pinkett Smith. Is it possible that Will's sitting at home right now, looking at her and saying straight off, "Baby, why are you telling people we broke up?" Or is it true? Who knows? According to Jada, it's true. I still say there's a book out. I think pretty much anything is possible at this point. I really do. I just know one thing is for sure.
Will Smith just smacked the shit out of me.
And there's not a lot you can say against that. It's all about the PR, babe. We are talking Hollyweird, the land of fruits and nuts. Which brings me to the next point. Talk about people getting weird. Talk about people doing what they need to do. And of course, once again, we have talked in the past about, people like Madonna, people that keep themselves in the public eye by doing strange things. And these days, nobody is more apt to that than our own girl, Lady Gaga. That's right. A friend that we talk about frequently on this show, Stephanie Germanotta. I always mess up her last name. I don't know why. But here we go on the Gaga watch. Now, you might be saying to yourself in between gagging, "Tim, why in the name of God are we on the Gaga watch?" Well, according to the website, HITC, or HITS, get it? So, one of the big stories is about her relationship with Michael Polanski. Now, this is her boyfriend. They've been together for about 3 years now. And they're still going strong. There was reports that they split up for a little while, but they didn't. They didn't. They're still happy as pigs and slop. In fact, according to HITS, they were recently spotted spending the weekend in Las Vegas, and they even attended Katy Perry's Vegas residency last weekend. But it is a video that has come online when she did her jazz and piano residency at the Park MGM back in August. Now you see her, she's there and she's dressed very elegantly and she's doing her thing. She's out there, she's being Steffi. We love her. She's Gaga. But her fans are taking this the wrong way. Her fans, looking at her dress, they are now convinced that our Steffi has a little Gaga in the oven. That's right. Her fans are convinced that the singer is pregnant and expecting a child after seeing this video. The video in question, according to Hits, it focuses on Steffi's stomach when she's walking down the stairs toward the camera. She's wearing that dress, apparently. And then she turns to the right and starts walking toward the piano to continue the performance. And the camera zooms in on her stomach, which is visible from under her dress, as are most people's stomachs when they wear a dress. And fans on social media now are saying that, well, she and Mike are having a little Gaga. So, despite the speculations, Steffi has not confirmed or denied the rumors. And in fact, GRV Media and Hits have reached out to her representatives, and they are not saying anything, which is only adding fuel to the fire, Steffi. You got to say something, okay? You know, I'm thinking that you maybe did one too many In-N-Out burgers before the show, and it happens to the best of us. You know, not that I would know about dresses, although I have this really, cute strapless number in my closet that I won't talk about. But, yes, it even says here, more often than not, female celebrities fall prey to rumors about fake pregnancies because of their appearance. And they're thinking this, it's a dress illusion. Come on. One fan wrote, quote, "I have a belly too, and people keep asking me all the time if I'm pregnant. Sometimes it's exhausting. I'm not even chubby. She's not pregnant. Some are just assuming." So, yeah, they've been, and like I said, she and Mike have been together about 3 years now, which is fine. I hope they're happy. And I hope everything's fine with her. I really do. So, does anybody really care about this kind of thing? Not really. Not really. To be honest with you, no. It's Lady Gaga. And even if she does, God bless her. If she's got a little Gaga in the oven, if she got a little Steffi going on in there, God bless you, honey. That's great. I hope you're happy. But if you're not, you better say something because people are just going off like there's no tomorrow. Okay? Just saying. Do you care about that kind of thing? Let me know. Talk to me in the comments down below. If you're watching the replay, again, you can talk to me down below. You can talk to me in the chat right. Talk to me in the chat right over here. Would love to hear from you. One of the things that we talk about quite often around here is tradition. There are just some things you don't mess with. There's just some things that you just say to yourself, this is fine. Noreen's saying that Noreen's saying she'd be having a little monster. All right. I see what you did there. One of the things that we talk about around here is tradition. There's certain things that you just plain know are going to be there. Things that Amy City said, you mentioned tradition. I thought you were about to bust into a number from Fiddler on the Roof. Tradition! Don't tempt me. Don't tempt me, man. There's certain things that you just know are going to be there in the end. And one of the things that should be there are the likes of things like Mickey and Minnie Mouse. Now, I think you'll agree with me that the Walt Disney Company has made some rather, how shall we say, questionable decisions over the years. But until now, they have left Mickey and Minnie alone. That's right, I said until now. Over the last few years, some fans have taken exception to some of the decisions that former Disney CEO Bob Chapek and their current CEO Bob Iger have made in regards to the company. And there's plenty of issues that have plagued Disney as a company over the last few years. But one thing has always been, and one thing will always be, and that is that Mickey and Minnie have always remained solid. Until now. There was a new announcement this week that came from Disney and their latest acquisition, Marvel Comics, that they're going to start a new series. It's called the What If series. And the first edition is going to be the What If Disney characters were actually the X-Men. And of course, you've got, there you see it. You see Mickey and Donald and Goofy and everybody. Next year, these best-selling covers are going to continue. However, as you can see on the covers, it's not Mickey and Minnie who are the couple. Yeah. The statement reads, Mickey and friends celebrate the Avengers and X-Men's 60th anniversary in the new Disney What If variant covers launching next year. This isn't the worst of it. This isn't the worst of it. It is what they are depicting on the covers. For example, you've got this one. Now take a real close look at that. And if you don't get it, then try this one. As you can tell, between the two, it's Mickey and Daisy Duck who are the couple. Or is it Donald and Minnie? The covers are a monthly variant cover program adorning select issues of The Amazing Spider-Man. The 12 upcoming covers will see Mickey Mouse, Minnie Mouse, Donald Duck, Goofy, and others taking over both the X-Men and the Avengers. Is nothing sacred anymore. And that is going to do it from here. That's all we need. Thank you. Real quick, Amy City. The What If isn't new. If they were doing that for a while, several variations. The rumors true about Mickey and Minnie splitting up because she was doing Goofy. Hey! On that note, we are going to get out of here. Thank you so much for being with me this evening. Thanks to everybody that talked to us in the chat. We certainly do appreciate it. Like, subscribe, do all that stuff. Thank you so much for being here. Be good to yourselves. Be good to each other. My name is Tim Gainer. Don't forget we're on the drive for 500 subscribers because I'm desperately lonely and greedy. Be good to yourselves. Be good to each other. Like, subscribe to all that YouTube stuff. In other words, if you like it, hey, you know what to do. We'll see you next week. We out. What?